Let's have a look at some common attacks against IPv6, or at least against devices running IPv6. First, we have the IPv6 neighbor discovery cache exhaustion. If a host sends traffic to many destination target addresses in the same network, like an Nmap scan or a malicious scan, this can cause a neighbor cache overflow. A solution to this is limiting the neighbor discovery resolution cache. This is similar to rate limiting. Another attack is that a host can announce a lot of IPv6 addresses via unsolicited neighbor advertisements. Most current operating systems ignore these messages if they are not solicited. So if you have not sent a neighbor solicitation and you receive a neighbor advertisement, you should ignore that. The second group is IPv6 router advertisements. A host can send a router advertisement announcing itself as a router. This is not correct. And I told you should enable RA guard, which is router advertisement guard, defined in RFC 6105. This can be enabled on a switch. When you enable it, the switch ports become role-based, and the switch will drop every router advertisement on non-router ports. So a client should not send router advertisements. The third group is DHCPv6 spoofing. A host can try to distribute DHCPv6 addresses. You can enable DHCPv6 guard for that. This is Cisco proprietary. There is not yet an open standard, but a standard that is called DHCPv6 Shield is in development. Also here, the switch ports become role-based, and all DHCPv6 advertisements on non-server ports are dropped. Fourth group, source IP address spoofing, same thing with IPv4. A host can send packets with a spoofed source address. That means this is an incorrect source address. And you can enable reverse path forwarding or RPF to disable this. You could send spoofed packets to some application which then will reply, and the host with this original address will be just DOSed or DDoSed. The fifth group is routing protocols. A malicious user could inject wrong information into routing domains, like wrong routes, wrong prefix information, and you can secure routing protocols with OSPF version 3, with PIM for multicast, with RipNG. You can use IPsec with extension headers, and with the other protocols like EIGRP, BGP, ISIS, HSRP, and VRRP, you should use MD5. This is highly recommended. You might have heard that in IPv6 there are some types of automatic tunneling, and you might not want this because if you're in an enterprise network, you don't want your clients to establish automatic tunnels to unknown destinations, sending corporate traffic over these tunnels. To disable these, you can do three things. You can filter IP protocol 41, which disables the 6 and 4, 624, 6RD, and ISATAP tunnels. You should filter access to 624 relay servers, which is an Anycast address, 192.88.99.1. And you should filter the Teredo UDP 3544 port and the tunnel setup protocol port UDP 3653.